are things that we develop daily. We can either develop bad habits or good habits. When you develop the habit of brushing your teeth every day, when you go to the bathroom, you don't even think about it. You just take your brush and you start brushing your teeth because it's a habit you've already developed. Some people have developed habits that relate to their morning routine. They get up in the morning, they know exactly what they are doing, and it's the same thing when it comes to our finances. Some people have developed habits that make them automatically save money, and others have developed habits that make them automatically spend money, and this will determine if you keep getting richer or if you keep getting poorer. I want to encourage you to smash that like button so that the YouTube algorithm will be able to share the video to other people. And if this is your first time seeing my face, my name is Delphine Tamukong, and welcome on board. If you have not yet subscribed, I want to encourage you to subscribe and become a part of the family. And to all of our comers, love you. So one of the habits that you might have developed that is keeping you poor is impulsive buying. So when it comes to impulsive buying, statistics from Psychology Today shows that 90% of the population actually buys impulsively. So they buy things that they didn't plan to just because maybe it's flashy in front of their face. When you see all these ads that are going around, it's because people are trying to make money. People are trying to get something out of you. And because it's flashy in front of you, you actually did not need that thing. You just bought it. So that's a kind of impulsive buying. Just think about the holiday season that we are moving into. Many people will be buying things impulsively because they went to the shop and they saw something flashy on the counter and they are like, oh wow, let me buy that for my niece, let me buy that for my uncle's cousin, let me buy that for my grandmother's grandfather. The list will never end. Do I say that no, you should not buy things? No, you should buy things for all of them, but it is better when you plan them. When you go to the shop, you see, when you go to the shop and you are at the aisle, you are trying to pay, what happens? You see all those things that have been arranged around this because they are making you to buy impulsively. You go to the shop, you didn't plan to buy those things, but you find yourself picking them. So let me just give you an example. Just think about it. If every month you are buying something impulsively for $100, so think about it for the whole year. 100 times 12 is going to give us $1,200. Imagine that you had taken that $1,200, maybe buy like a stock, a bond, index fund, or any of those things, that you bought something to help you invest. Imagine that you would have had $1,200, and that $1,200, if you have the opportunity to do that, it keeps growing and compounding. But that is money that went for nothing, and it's because it's a habit that you have developed. So overcomers, just think about it. All the money that you've been using to buy impulsively, imagine that you were saving that money. How much will you have saved? So, and you can change that habit from today and be determined that no, you know, when you go to the shop, you want to buy something, you are going to buy only what is on your shopping list. You know, it's true that you could forget some things, but if it's not necessary, don't buy it. All the flashy things that you see on the internet, you can discipline yourself and say, for 1 week, I'm not going to buy anything. And after that, you see that you've developed that resistance. After 1 week, you tell yourself, for 1 month, I'm not going to buy anything that I didn't plan to buy. You keep developing it, and it becomes a habit that you will not just buy impulsively. Just to connect to that, the next thing I want to talk about is that people spend without budgeting. Data from National Foundation Credit for Counseling shows that 64% of Americans don't have a budget. And if you don't have a budget, it leads to overspending because you don't even know where your money is going to. You just spend anyhow. Just as we talked about impulsive spending, if you have a budget, you will not just buy impulsively because your budget already allocates where every franc is going. Just think about something that you buy every day for $5 that you did not budget for. Just say, for example, you go to Starbucks and get coffee every day. Take that $5 and multiply it by 365 days in a year. It's going to cost you $1,825. Just taking $5 every day. You might think that is very small amount of money. If you decided that you are going to be saving that $5 every day instead, imagine by the end of the year, you would have had extra $1,825 that you didn't even notice that you were saving that amount of money. So if you don't have a budget, overcomers, that's something that you can easily do and start today. And if you don't have a budget, it really hinders you from saving, it hinders you from investing, and that's something that you can easily fix and start developing habits that can help you to be able to change your financial life, especially as we get into 2024. The next thing I want to talk about is accumulating bad debt. Just imagine that in America, as per the Federal Reserve, the total consumer debt actually reached 4.3 trillion. Where do you think this debt is from? It's from individuals like you and me. Let me give you an example. If you have $5,000 debt and that $5,000 you are paying the minimum amount every month, and assuming that the interest on that money was 18%, you are paying the minimum amount every month. At the end of 5 years, you are going to pay $2,500 extra to the credit card company. Why do you think you keep receiving mails all the time in the mailbox saying that you should apply for this credit card, you should apply for this credit card? It's because that's how they make their money. How many times have you been encouraged? How many times have they pushed all this credit card in front of you and you just keep applying for them, and you take this money, you are not able to pay. You keep paying the minimum balance. Yes, you are paying minimum, but as you pay minimum balance, you are paying interest on the debt that you owe. And as you keep paying that interest, it's accumulating. That's money that you would have been saving if you had maybe developed different financial habits. However, overcomer, the reason why I'm making this video, I don't want you to feel bad about yourself, because there are so many people in that same boat. But why I'm making this video is to help you to understand that that is the way that many people are going. And for you to be able to change your life, and for you to be able to change your financial situation, you must, as an individual, decide one day, and that day is today. You must decide today that no, I don't want to continue to live this kind of life. I don't want to continue to pay this credit card company. I want to make something different. And for you to be able to change your situation, there are many different ways that you can use to pay debts. Subsequently, I'll be creating videos on that. But one thing that I can tell you is that if you have many different credit cards, you can do like consolidation. Another thing that you can do is that you can start by paying all the credit cards with very high interest rate first. And so because those interest rates are higher, they eat more of your money. Even though you can be paying like minimum balance for the other ones, but any extra amount of money that you have, put it more towards the high interest rate credit card. That will help to reduce the debts that you have faster. This is a deliberate action. You have to determine that I'm tired and I want to really change my financial life. The next thing I want to talk about is ignoring emergency fund. Sometimes we actually have this idea, we want to save money, we want to keep some money for emergency fund, but because of our financial status, because of the habits that we have been building over time, we are not able to save money. Statistics actually show that if there is an emergency that is requiring just $1,000, only 41% of Americans will be able to cover that emergency. Which means that for so many of us, if you are in an emergency and you need even just $1,000, what will happen? You have to dig yourself deep into credit card to be able to cover that emergency. When you do that, it just keeps increasing your financial instability, because you keep getting deeper and deeper into debts. And when it gets to a point where you are not able to pay, then it starts affecting your credit history. It starts affecting many things that will really affect you negatively down the line. So the next thing I want to talk about is having just a single source of income. On this channel, one of the things that I talk about so much is for people to be able to have like side hustle, for people to be able to have like a different source of income. When you are relying completely on one source of income, what happens when that income source fails? Then you are finished. Just imagine like a few years that have just passed, many people lost their job, and those things keep happening. If you have an accident or something happens, something that we are not really wishing for, imagine that it happens and you are not able to go to work, and you are relying on that one source of income. And that source of income, if you are not there, you are trading your time for money. And if you are not there, what will happen? And that source of income has ended. And so many people are actually relying on one source of income. With inflation growing daily, the growth rate of our income from those single sources are not able to even meet up with inflation. And so overcomers, we are not doing the best thing for ourselves if we have just one source of income. My desire for you is that even as 2024 is coming, you should determine, you should really make up your mind that you have to increase your sources of income. You can't rely on a single source of income in the time in which we are living. Think about 5 years behind. You could buy something for like $10 and it'll be so much. But if you want to go and buy that same thing now, it'll be costing about $70. It's just because inflation has been growing rapidly. And as time goes on, prices keep increasing, things keep getting expensive. The next thing I want to talk about is delay investment. How many of us have heard that the rich people that we see today, they don't make their money by from 9 to 5 jobs? They don't make their money by trading their time for money. And they make their money because of the investments that they have made. There are so many different types of investment. One of the things that I hear people talk about is that they don't know how to invest, they don't know how to go about it, they don't know where to start. It's true. These are not things that people easily learn in school. want to tell you that I have a degree in banking and finance. I did accountancy, did chartered accountancy, and I had all this knowledge. Even though I learned all these things from school, guess what? The things that I'm telling you on this channel now, I didn't learn them from school. It's because one day I decided, I told myself, no, I'm tired of living this kind of life. Even though I did finance in school, these things are not being taught in school. Overcomers, you need to get to that point in your life where you need to say, no, I'm tired of this kind of lifestyle. I need to change my life. I need to take a decision and start learning some of the things that I need to know. One of the highest investment that you can give yourself is actually to invest on yourself. There are so many skills that you can learn. Just by learning those skills, it's going to transform your financial life. Let me just give you an example. Say that you have $1,000 and you decide to invest that $1,000 with a return of 7% interest. In 10 years, it's going to yield you approximately $2,000. So just think about it, that if you had invested more, how much would that be? That's why we hear so much about passive income, that the rich people, they get their money from investing. Because when they invest that amount of money, it keeps growing for them and it grows in a compounding rate. If you don't know much about all these things, I want to tell you that you need to first of all begin by investing on yourself, learning this knowledge, because you are missing out. So if you are getting any value from this video, I want to encourage you to like the video, subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, to become a part of the family. The next thing I want to talk about is ignoring tax efficiency. Many people don't understand how taxes work. People who don't make much money, right? They just wait for the end of the year to be able to apply for tax return. They take that tax return, they are so excited, and they take it and they spend it anyhow. And you are thinking that, oh, you got money from the government. No, that was your money that was cut every month as you were being paid. And that's how the government makes money, by cutting that amount of money. And so when you are excited that you receive tax return, no, instead you are ignorant of how much you are actually paying to the government, and you are ignorant of the things that you can do to actually preserve your money. This is one of the areas that I am personally working on now, especially as I'm having businesses online. I'm now learning how to be able to reduce my taxes in the right way and be able to keep my money. Learning all the different ways that I can preserve my money legally. The kind of accounts where I can put my money to make it tax-free. Anyway, that's one of the investments that I am doing in my own personal life at this time. The next thing I want to talk about is lack of financial education. I know I've been talking about that in previous points, but I want to really emphasize it, that if you want to actually grow your finance, if you want to change this habit, you have to really financially educate yourself. I'm not talking about the education that you get from school. You can be educated in school, but you know what? The easiest way that I've seen that I personally learn is when I get to that point where I feel like, wow, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do at this point. Maybe I'm working on a business plan and I get there and I don't know what to do. Then I decide at that time, like, okay, I need to figure this out. I start learning, and when I learn and I figure it out, I will never make that mistake again. But imagine that I had not started that project in the first place, saying that, oh, I don't know how to do it, saying that I don't know what to do. I would have gotten stuck from the beginning, like what many people are doing. Many people are stuck from taking action because they feel like they don't know the complete journey. They don't know exactly what to do. They don't know how to go about this. Overcomers, I want you to know that in life, you educate yourself as you go. If, for example, the first day you went to elementary school, the goal is to graduate from high school, but then you start saying, oh, I don't know how I'm going to be able to graduate from high school. How will you know that if you don't go to elementary school? You have to go from stage to stage. And so it applies in our finance, it applies in everything that we do in life. If you don't take that step, if you don't take that action, you will remain at the same place. Two people can have an idea. One person takes action, and the other person who does not take action will remain at that same place until that person decide one day to take action. I will encourage you that, starting today and as you move into 2024, you educate yourself financially. That should be one of your goals. If you are not educated financially, it's going to affect your financial choices, and that's going to hinder your financial growth. The next thing I want to talk about is ignoring retirement. Statistics show that 40 million household Americans who are up to working age don't have any retirement fund. And so if you are not able to save save any money for your retirement, it means that you rely only on your social security fund. And you know what? That will increase the risk of poverty in your old age. One day I went to Walmart and I saw an old lady standing there and greeting. Sometimes it could be for fun, but sometimes it's just because maybe she didn't plan well for her retirement. And the same history is repeating to so many of us. And overcomers, if you want to make a difference in your financial life, especially when you grow older, you need to start planning today. The next thing I want to talk about is chasing instant gratification. Some of us is like, oh wow, I want to get that thing now. I want to satisfy myself now. Statistics published in Journal of Consumer Research shows that impulsive spending that we talked about from the beginning is linked to low saving and high credit card debt. For example, just think about it. If you are spending only $50 every week on a weekend night out, maybe you just go out to eat, you go out with your friends, and you are spending $50. If you calculate that $50 for the entire year, it's going to be about $2,600. Imagine that if you had decided that no, you were going to make different financial decisions and save that money. Am I saying that you should not go out with your friends? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if you follow what I've been saying, is like if you are budgeting and you already know that this is what you are doing and you are able to meet up with your needs, then that's fine. If you are spending that for your instant gratification and you don't have any money saved, and maybe you are even using the credit card to be able to spend that, then overcomers, that's something that maybe you need to rethink and see how to adjust your financial habit. You know, sometimes we see so many people on social media and they flex all these nice things, all these cars, all this money, and maybe we want to compete with them. Like for example, I know somebody who was working a minimum wage job, and this person every year, that person is going to take a new car. That person will go and exchange their car and get a new car. They are taking this car on credit and they are paying every month. Overcomers, imagine, how will such a person build a financial life? You are accumulating so many debts, and at the end, that car is not even yours because you just want to show up, because you have seen other people do that. People who are actually rich, who actually have the money, they actually started by saving. They actually started by investing. And when they got to a point where they don't have debts, their investment is able to contribute money to be able to buy that car that they want to buy. Then that's when they start buying it. They didn't just start by taking credit cards and renting cars and showing up like any other person. I personally know a friend whose spending habit is crazy. This person spends money and doesn't care if it's from credit card. It doesn't matter how much debt she owes. I don't know if she really doesn't care, or just that it's an impulsive buying thing, or maybe it's a habit that she has developed. And I know that there are many other people like that. Overcomers, I want to encourage you that it is time for you to change from those habits. Those are habits that we can change. If you are buying things to be able to satisfy your gratification right now, then you are hindering your future self, because if you take that money rather and save it, what will happen? You will have some gains from that money, and you can take that gain and then use it to buy anything that you want in the future. Another habit that I want to talk about that is affecting our finances, and maybe sometimes we are not even conscious, is our poor health habits. The things that we do health-wise. If you are not healthy physically, there is no way you will even be able to go to that work. There is no way you will be able to do the things that you are supposed to do. Statistics from CDC shows that 75% of healthcare spending actually goes to chronic diseases. So if you ignore your health, you don't take care of your health, it can lead to high medical bills. Maybe because you did not do something. Maybe you did not drink enough water. You did not eat well. Maybe you were eating anyhow. If we don't take those good healthy decisions, it can lead us to a place of negative finance in the future. If we are not making good healthy habits, it doesn't just lead to our poor health. Down the line, it can also lead to poor financial stability, and of course that will lead to poor investment. The next thing I want to talk about is resisting change and learning. How many of us, like when we are working in our jobs and then they tell us, oh, we have that course that we have to take, we have that thing that we have to learn, and we start resisting. We are resisting change, we are resisting learning, and sometimes we don't even know. Those things that we are resisting, those are things that are meant to help us. A study from Harvard University showed that the companies, organizations that promote and encourage frequent learning actually lead to higher profit. And it's the same thing if as individual you continually innovate yourself, you continually learn, you continually improve your educational knowledge, it's going to lead to higher profit. Because as you keep learning, you'll be able to give more value. And for you to be able to make money, especially in the time in which we live, people pay you for the value you are able to give. If you are not able to offer anything, then why should I pay you? The more you learn, the more knowledge you gain, especially knowledge that is needed, then the more you are able to monetize yourself, the more you are able to grow financially. If you are resisting change, if you are resisting to learn, then it's going to hinder your financial growth. One thing that I want you to know is that change starts from today. If you watch a video like this and maybe you are thinking, oh, this is me, and you don't take any action, nothing will change. Instead, guess what? You are wasting your data, you are wasting your time. This is expense on you. And if you don't take action, it means that all these things have been wasted. Overcomers, please, I want you to know that this is all on you as an individual. It's not about your family member. It's not about your uncle, your aunt, your husband. It's about you deciding that you want to change your life. Deciding that, no, enough is enough. I'm tired of living like this. I'm tired of living from paycheck to paycheck. Tired of paying debts over and over. Do you think it's going to end today? No. But if you start taking that action today, things will begin to go the right direction. So I want to encourage you that it is never too late. It doesn't matter if you are in your 20s. It doesn't matter if you are in your 50s. It doesn't matter. The age doesn't matter. What matters is you starting to take action today. So overcomers, I want to really encourage you. These are habits that keep so many people poor. And because we have come in contact, I want to pray that God is going to help you to be able to start changing this habit bit by bit until you get to that comfortable place where you want to belong. And remember, everybody have their own journey. There is no comparison in this. There is no feeling shame in this. It's about you taking action and changing your future self. If after you have watched all this video and you are really wondering what you can do, I'll encourage you to click on this video and start learning some skills that can start helping you from today. Thank you so much, Overcomers, for watching this video to the end. I want to encourage you to like the video if you've not yet liked, subscribe, and become a part of the family if you have not yet subscribed. Love you all. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. It's been a while.